guys, welcome to Cooking with Steven and Jacqueline. Today we're going to show you how to cook stewed pork Trini style, so let's sit back and enjoy the ride.
Well folks, let's go season our pork Trini style, and here's our ingredients.
You will need 2 to 3 pounds of pork, 2 to 3 tablespoons of green seasoning, 3 pimento peppers, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, 1 piece of ginger, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning, salt and black pepper, 1.5 teaspoon of cooking butter, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and 2.5 tablespoons of brown sugar.
Hey guys, here I have about 2.5 to 3 pounds of pork steaks which I'm going to cut into stew size pieces. You want to cut them into about 2 by 1.5 inch pieces. And for those of you who do not know what pork steaks are, they are cut off meat from the pork shoulder which they cut into slices. And here you can see the amount of fat in between it, and this means it's going to be a lot of flavor. This is about the size piece that you are looking for. So this is pretty simple enough to do, so we're going to speed it up here guys. Well guys, we are down to the last 2 pieces, and here's our stew pork pieces all cut up. And it's on to seasoning our pork. Here I got me a couple of pimento peppers. Pimento peppers are just flavored peppers. There's no heat to them at all. All you need to do is just cut off the stems, split them in half, and then give them a rough chop. For you guys who may find pimento peppers a bit hard to find, the next option would be to use a red bell pepper because of the sweetness. Now that our pimentos are all chopped up, it's time to add it to the party. Next in the pool are going to be 2 cloves of garlic which I'm going to finely grate. This is all about levels of flavor. It's all going to come together nicely at the end. Now I'm going to be going in with 1 piece of ginger, about a 1-inch piece. I'm just going to grate this into the party as well. Now that I've gotten my garlic and ginger all grated up, I just want to flip the grater and take my finger and make sure and get all that goodness into the pool. And you know it's coming when I say Trini style. I'm going in with that green seasoning, about 2 to 3 tablespoons. Next in the pool, I'm going in with 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to sprinkle this all over our pork, followed by 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper which will bring a bit of heat, and this is optional of course. Besides, I don't have any scotch bonnet at the moment. Now I'm going in with 1 tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. Here I'm just using my go-to all-purpose seasoning which is Bardia, but you can use any all-purpose seasoning of your choice. And to bring all those flavors together, I'm going in with 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Last but not least, I'm going in with a bit of ketchup, 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. This is optional of course. You can use a small tomato, just give it a rough chop and you'll be fine. Well folks, there's just one thing to do. Take your God-given hands and give this a good old mix. You want to make sure and get all those seasonings properly well incorporated into those pieces of pork. Well folks, now that we have gotten our seasoning all incorporated, we're going to set this in the refrigerator and let it marinate for 1 to 2 hours. And here's a bit of a bird's eye view of our seasoned pork. Now guys, while this is marinating, we're going to give a few channel shout outs, and here they are.
Hey folks, want to shout out a few channels today which are Sleeper Barbecue, CC and BQ'N, and 805 Barbecue Junkie. I will have links to the channel in the description below.
Well folks, it's time to get ready to start stewing our pork. First off, I have my pot heating, and now I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You want to use any neutral oil of your choice, not olive oil though. Now I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now you want to follow the next few steps very carefully, which means you do not want to turn your back on these next few steps. Here you can see that our sugar is beginning to melt and it's beginning to get bubbly on the outer edges. You just want to take your spoon and give it a good old stir until your sugar becomes nice and frothy and amber in color. After this has happened, it's time to add your pork and start to give it a good old mix. Please note that if your sugar becomes too dark, please stop this process immediately, turn off your stove, allow your pot to cool and start the process all over again, because you do not want to get a bitter taste in your pork. Now that you have incorporated that pork into that sugar, you want to cover this down and let this simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes on medium-low heat, and ever so often give it a stir. Well, in the miracle of time, 10 minutes has gone by and you can see where the pork has released its juices. You just want to give this a good old mix, leave off the cover for the liquid to evaporate until you have something looking like this. This is where you know all those delicious flavors has gotten into that pork. And here's a bird's eye view of how our pork is looking.
Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the post notifications for more.
After most of the liquid has been evaporated, you want to take that same bowl that you had your seasoned pork and add about 2 cups of water to that and add it to the mix. Doing this will ensure that you get all of that seasoning in there. Now that you have added your water, you want to turn your stove right down to low and just cover this down and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Well, after 20 minutes, I have already added about 3 more cups of water because remember, pork shoulder is a tough piece of meat, and here I have it on a medium-high just bubbling away. This is about 45 minutes into the cook, and here I'm adding something called Golden Ray cooking butter, which is a butter used for cooking stews in Trinidad and Tobago. And for you guys, I know this will be a bit hard to find, so you can leave out this. All you got to do now is just give this a good old mix to make sure that all that cooking butter is properly well incorporated. Cover it down and let this simmer until the meat becomes tender. Well folks, this is an hour and 15 minutes into the cook, so now it's time to check for tenderness. So here I got myself my saucer, and I'm going to see if this piece cuts like butter. And yes, it does. So this means that our pork is done. I'm just going to leave the cover off and let this simmer for a while to help the sauce to thicken up. And folks, I will have the full list of all the ingredients used in this cook in the description box below, and also a link to a video in the iCards above on how to make that green seasoning, and also that will be in the description box as well. So folks, our sauce has thickened up nicely, so I say it's time to get this all plated up, fasten our seatbelts, and let's get ready for a drive-by. Let's go!
Well boys and girls, here's our delicious Trini style stew pork, and it was so tasty. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notifications for more videos. See you all on our next cooking journey, and we're out until next time.